Good afternoon, teacher. Today we are going to present the lesson plan models.
Well, first we have the integrated instructional design. This method was developed by Alan Collins. The integrated instructional design method seeks to create learning experience in which students can connect and apply knowledge in a meaningful way. So the second is instructional design. The third is material development. And then we have the implementation. And finally is the evaluation and feedback. Next. Then we have the UDL, the Universal Design for Learning. This method was developed by team of research at Harvard University, led by Professor David Rose, Annie Meyer, and David Gordon. UDL aims to provide all the students with equal opportunity to learn and actively participate in the educational process by building on students' different learning styles, abilities, interests, and needs, seeking to remove barriers that may limit their participation in academic success. UDL is composed for three main stages or principles stage. The first is representation, the second is action and expression, and the third is engagement.
Okay, the next model is the RTI or response to intervention. This model was developed by Mary Little, and this is implemented in many schools to support students who are struggling academically or behaviorally. This this model is focusing on three tiers. The first tier includes the high quality instruction provided to all the students in the general education classroom. The tier number 2 is where they receive targeted intervention in the small groups. And the tier number 3 is which involves more intensive intervention and possible individualized instruction. The next model is the Charlotte Danielson lesson plan model. This model was developed by Charlotte Danielson. And this is focused on the components that offer a shared vocabulary for discussing teaching and to assist teachers in effectively organizing and arranging their lessons. This model was divided into 4 steps of 4 domains. The first is the planning and preparation, the second is the classroom environment, the third is the instruction, and the last is the professional responsibility.
The next is Game Night Events of Instruction. This model was developed by Robert Getner, and it is a series of events that are associated with and address the mental condition for learning. This model have 9 steps. The first was getting attention of students. The second is for learn of the objectives. The third was stimulate, recall, and prior learning. The fourth, present the content. The fifth, provide learning guidance. The sixth is elicit performance or practice. And the seventh is provide feedback. The eighth is assess performance. And the last one is engage, retention, and transfer to the job. The other is differentiate instruction design. This model was developed by Carol and Tomlinson, and this model consists on the efforts of teachers to respond the variance among learners in the classroom. This model have 4 steps that was content, process, products, and learning environment. In content, we have the needs of the learner on how they will access to the information. And then we have the process that was the engage in the students or make master in the content. The product is the task that the students do through rehearse, apply, or extend what they learn in a unit, and the environment is the way the classroom works and feels.
Also, we have another model that is 5E model. This model was developed by the American educational biologist Roger Bybee. The 5E model consists of 5 sequential stages that guide the teaching and learning process. The first stage is engage, that the teacher arouse the interest of the students and capture their attention. Then we have the explore. The students engage in hands-on activities, investigations, or experiments to explore the topic in hand. And also we have the explain. The teacher provides relevant information and explains key concepts related to the topic. Then we have elaborate, that the students apply and extend their knowledge. And finally, we have evaluate, that the teacher and student assess the level of understanding and achievement of the learning objectives. Also, I'm talking about the Madeleine-Hunter model. It's a structured approach to lesson planning and execution developed by Madeleine-Hunter, an American educator and author. This model focuses on the role of the teacher in the teaching process and seeks to ensure the effectiveness of instruction through a series of specific steps.
Well, then we have the direct instruction model. This model was developed by Seinfeld, Engelman, and Wesley Becker. Well, in the 1960th century. Well, it is a highlight structure and teacher direct instructional approach aimed at improving students and learning outcomes. Well, the model consists of several steps, which are introduction, teacher modeling, guided practice, checking for understanding, independent practice, and closure. Then we have the CALA model, a cognitive academic language learning approach. Well, this model was developed by Anna Hoult Chamel and Michael Homal. Well, it is an instructional framework designed to support English language learning and in acquiring academic language skills with simultaneous learning content knowledge. Well, this model incorporates cognitive and metacognitive strategies to engage language development. And the different steps are preparation, presentation, practice, application, review, and finally we have the assessment.
We consider the Madeleine-Hunter model to be the most interesting model because it provides a structured guide for effective teaching. also encourage active students' participation and allows continuous assessment of learning. It helps teachers to combine content clearly and students to gain skills and knowledge in a meaningful way. Now we are going to present the steps of this model.
Well, the first step is stated objectives. In this part, it is important that the students know where they are going. Giving them a sense of where they are going reduce the feeling of being a stage in a learning experience. These steps orients the learners and lets them know what they are supposed to achieve at the end of the lesson.
The second step is anticipatory set, that it helps to students are ready or excited to accept an instruction. Here it's important to know that it's an anticipatory form to introduce a topic. It could be an activity, a game, a focused discussion, view a film or a clip. This step prepares the learners to receive the instruction, much like a parent conditioning. Indirect instruction and checking for understanding. This part involves quickly assessing whether students understand what has just been demonstrated or presented.
The third step is the input modeling or modeling practice. Here, we focus on making sure that the students get it right the first time, depends on the knowledge, or demonstrate the knowledge by an expert or by someone who has mastered what is demonstrated or shown. Also, here the instructor prepares students can certainly model the focus skills, process, or concept for peers, and the instructors could use a video for this part.
Then we have the first stage. In this part, the teachers watch students' body language, ask questions, observe responses, and interaction in order to determine whether or not the students are making sense of the material. As it is being presented, this portion takes place as instruction is being given. Also, this is a whole class exercise, one in which the instructor carefully monitors the actions of the learners to make sure they are duplicating the skill, process, procedure, or exercise correctly. This step is checking understanding.
Well, the next step is guided practice. Well, this step take place after instruction has been modeling and then checked for understanding to make sure students have it right. Well, the question here is, can they replay what you want them to do correctly? And the students are give the opportunity to apply or practice what they have just learned and receive immediately feedback at individual's level. Then we have the other step, that is independent practice. Well, in independent practice, these last two components can be interchanged. And independent practice, well, after students appear to understand the new material, they are give the opportunity to further apply or practice using the new information. And this may occur in class or as homework, but there should be a short period of time between instruction and practice, and between practice and feedback. Essentially, they are doing a learning task by themselves.
Well, in the closure, this part is at the end of all the activities, and here the teacher what they have learned through evaluation. Thank you, teacher.